Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today I just wanted to do a little bit of identification of 7.62 by 54 rimmed Russian ammunition, which a lot of you encounter on a regular basis for your Mosin rifle. There's a lot of surplus stuff floating out there, and the majority is going to be the spam can stuff that I think we're all pretty familiar with. A lot of times it's wrapped in paper, pretty common, normal post-war, Cold War era type stuff. But sometimes you're going to come across the 15-round cartons, which is generally, not always, but generally older ammunition and can be a little bit difficult to discern what it is, especially if you can't examine the head stamps. Obviously, examining the head stamps on ammunition and knowing what you're looking at is a pretty important skill that I would develop, probably say anyone who shoots a Mosin on a regular basis and is into shooting surplus ammunition should know, at least have a cursory understanding of it. So we're just going to look at a couple of the more unusual ones that you may see and just give you a couple of pointers on how to know what you're looking at. So starting from the left here, we have a completely unmarked 15-round box, standard type box of Mosin ammunition, and inside you've got stripper clipped 7.62 by 54 and a head stamp of T34 on it. So the T is actually going to stand for Tula, for the Tula arsenal, and 1934 is, of course, the year of manufacture. Tula did have sort of an interesting way of doing it. They would put the T, whereas a lot of other factories would put a number, like a factory code number, and then the date below it, whereas Tula liked to do the T at the 12 o'clock position, and then the year, at least for post-war or pre-war ammunition, would be at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock angles. So that's just something you might see. Also, a lot of times Tula seem to be brass cased ammunition, which this is. It is still non-reloadable and corrosive, but kind of gives you an idea of what you might come across if you see this. Again, unmarked box, you at least know it's Soviet. And if you're into collecting, it might be kind of cool to have some pre-war Tula ammunition. Moving along to your middle one here, this looks like very standard post-war copper washed steel cased ammunition. This is, if I just looked at it from a distance, I'd say this is probably 1970s production. In fact, and this is going to be impossible to read because the Soviets like to use really tiny, tiny letters. It is factory code 38 and 1935. So this is, again, pre-war ammunition as well. And the stripper clips are actually marked with an Ishevsk, if I can find it here. At least some of them are marked with an Ishevsk arrow in triangle. So they are original Soviet Ishevsk make. And as you can see, inside the box, you actually have individual places where your stripper clipped ammunition, each round would be separated from each other so they're not touching. Just kind of an interesting little thing that you don't see very often. And then moving along, obviously if you come across this, the nice thing about this ammunition is it does have a label. And as you can see, automatically if you know any Cyrillic, you're going to know this is not Cyrillic lettering. And so it is most likely going to be Finnish, because the Finns were really big on using the Soviet style packaging as well. So you take a look at this, and you've got 15 loose rounds, not on stripper clips. And the real answer here is that this is VPT 44, which this will never focus on probably. But you've got VPT 44, and if you decide to memorize any of this stuff, VPT is one, it's not Cyrillic, and it is also a Finnish manufacturer. State arsenal that is still in business and still making ammunition. Again, all of these are going to be corrosive ammunition. None of it's going to be reloadable. Your mileage may vary if you decide to shoot any of this stuff. I I strongly believe you're probably going to have some hang fires, misfires, or duds completely. At least for me, I think it's more interesting to collect it than to actually shoot it, but you do what you want. It's your ammo, and it's not terribly expensive, but again, there's probably better stuff for you to be buying if you're just going to be shooting it up. A lot of this came over in the 1960s in terms of the Finnish stuff. When the Soviet stuff came over, I'm really not sure because I haven't seen a lot of Soviet pre-war surplus out. Most of it is Cold War era stuff. So this just gives you a little idea of what you might be looking at, what you might be encountering. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. And if there's something specific you'd like to see, let me know, and we'll see if we can get our hands on it and do a video for you. Thanks for watching.